Hello and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time in around 30 minutes. Now, the purpose of this lecture series is very simple. We want you to cover your current affairs on a daily basis because current affairs form a very important portion of your civil services examination. I guess you know this by now, right? So you need to cover current affairs on a daily basis, but you can't spend your entire day reading the newspaper. Therefore, to facilitate you guys, we have come out with this lecture series in which we will cover the entire day's current affairs in a short span of time. Now, just watching this lecture would be job half done. Just after watching this lecture, you need to revise this lecture also because revision helps you to remember these current affairs for longer periods of time. Okay, after revision, these current affairs would get etched in your memory for longer periods of time. Now, you can revise these current affairs from our notes. The notes shall be available in PDF file and shall be shared on Telegram channel. Now, where will you find our Telegram channel? Well, below this video, in the comment section, I've shared a link. That link belongs to our Telegram channel. All you need to do is just click on that link. It will take you to our Telegram channel, and from there, you can download the notes for this lecture. As soon as you download the notes, you just have to spend 20 to 30 minutes revising this lecture. Okay, so 30 minutes of watching this lecture and 20 to 30 minutes of revising this lecture, and in about 50 minutes, be done for the day. You don't have to worry about current affairs anymore. Your entire day is free. Spend it as you like it. Okay, so if you really want to finish off your current affairs in a short span of time, then make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. It should be a daily habit of yours. All right? Okay, enough of the introduction. Now let's straight away jump into the lecture, beginning with the topics of the day. Okay, so let's take a look at the topics we shall discuss in this particular lecture. Number one is One Nation, One Subscription scheme launched by Government of India. This would really help all those students studying in higher educational institutions. Okay, colleges, universities. It's a very good scheme and a very useful one also. So we'll talk about this. Then, recently, as you guys must have heard, that Israel and Hezbollah have agreed to a ceasefire deal. Now, that ceasefire deal is based on United Nations Security Council's Resolution 1701. Now, what is this resolution all about? And what are the key features of this particular ceasefire deal between Hezbollah and Israel? We'll talk about this. Then, November 26th passed, but we did not address that. Okay, but today we are going to address it. November 26th every year is celebrated as Constitution Day or Samvidhan Divas. Okay, so we'll talk about some important features about making of our constitution which might come in handy when you are preparing for polity. Okay, so we'll talk about this. And in the end, we'll talk about foreign portfolio investors because every second day or every third day, the economy section of Hindu newspaper and Indian Express newspaper talks about foreign portfolio investors. Whether they have pulled out from Indian stock market or they have pumped in money into the Indian stock market, they regularly talk about foreign portfolio investors. So we'll address this issue as well. Okay, so these are the four topics. Let's straight away start the discussion, starting with topic number one. One Nation, One Subscription scheme. Okay, so recently Union Cabinet approved this scheme with a total budgetary outlay of 6,000 crores for 3 calendar years, 2025, 26, 27. Okay, now what is the purpose of this scheme? Look, all over India there are various higher educational institutions and there are various students and faculty members part of these or teaching or studying in these higher educational institutions. Now, most of the times, the scholars in these universities publish articles. Where do they publish articles? In renowned journals or magazines. Okay, Sometimes they publish some paper, some PhD scholar would publish a paper, some MPhil scholar would publish a paper in renowned journals. Now, students of these higher educational institutions want to access these magazines. Now, for that, they have to pay subscription fees. Like whenever you want to subscribe to a magazine or a newspaper, you have to pay subscription fees. But there are around 30 renowned journals or magazines, and you have to pay individual subscription fees for these 30 journals if you really want to access quality articles published here. Now, this becomes a problem for students as well as faculty members because they have to spend a lot to get access to these important academic articles. So, to solve this problem, Government of India has decided that there shall be only one subscription fee. So basically, Government of India has created a common platform on which around 13,000 scholarly journals would be there. Okay, there are around 30 publishers, okay, 30 important publishers. So 13,000 magazines would be on this common platform. You just have to pay one subscription fee and you'll have access to all these journals. Okay, so you don't have to pay separate subscription fees for separate journals. Just one subscription fee for this common platform and you'll get access to all the important journals and articles. Okay, papers. So this is what one nation one subscription scheme is. It will really give a boost to higher education in India, and it is really going to facilitate faculty members of these universities as well as students of these universities. Okay, because currently higher educational institutions can access journals through 10 different library consortiums. Okay, there are 10 different libraries and you have to pay separate subscription fee for this. Now, not anymore. Okay, so what is this one nation one subscription? It will enable all state and central government universities and colleges to access thousands of journals on one platform, and this scheme is going to begin from January 1st 2025. This common platform will host 13,000 magazines or journals published by 30 international publishers. Now, the nodal agency for implementing this scheme is InflibNet. InflibNet Center, full form is Information and Library Network Center, which will gather all the important journals and put it on one common platform. Now, this InflibNet is based in Gandhinagar and has been designated as the implementing agency for this. So, remember the name of InflibNet of Gandhinagar. InflibNet functions under University Grants Commission (UGC), which is eventually under Ministry of Education. UGC is a statutory body, by the way. Okay, so InflibNet functions under UGC. Now, what was the need for this scheme? Okay, or basically, what are the advantages of this scheme? Simple, it will expand access to different resources, different academic resources, different academic magazines, journals, papers. It will expand the access in a very cheap way. Okay, you don't have to spend that much. So best scholarly journals shall be available for 55 lakh to nearly 1.8 crore students, faculty members, researchers across 6,300 government higher education institutions. This will definitely allow these people to spend less on education, less expenditure. Okay, then better bargaining power for the government. Generally, these journals actually charge a lot of fees from these government universities for allowing access to their articles. Now that they have a common platform, now that government has a common platform, government has more bargaining power. Okay, all these publishers would want to push their magazine on this common platform, so therefore the bargaining power goes to the government. Now government can ask them to lower their fees and whatnot. Okay, and it will also give policy insights to the government, especially Ministry of Higher Education, because now the government can track which journals or which magazines are downloaded the most by which universities. So this would give access to some important information regarding the popularity of certain or regarding the demand for certain magazines, certain topics. All of that would be now available for the government to make better policies for higher educational institutions. Okay, so these are the four major advantages of this scheme. All right, make sense? Okay, now let's quickly shift focus to second news item, which is related to Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire deal. And this ceasefire deal is based on United Nations Security Council's Resolution 1701. So Israel and Lebanon entered into a ceasefire on November 27th, a day after Israel's Security Cabinet approved a US backed proposal to end the 13-month long conflict. So Israel and Hezbollah have been fighting for 13 months. This US backed proposal was approved by Israel's cabinet, and this would really put an end to hostilities between these two. One is a country, one is a terrorist organization. Okay. The ceasefire proposal draws on the provisions of Resolution 1701. Now, this Resolution 1701 was passed in 2006 by UNSC. So, what is this resolution? Okay, because the current ceasefire deal is almost entirely based on this resolution. Okay, so what is it? Look, the border between Lebanon and Israel is this blue line. Okay, now this blue line is the de facto international border between Lebanon and Israel. Just around 40 kilometers above this line is a river called Litani River. Now, Hezbollah is mostly based out of, or is mostly in South Lebanon, which is close to Israeli border, close to this blue line. And what happens is that when Hezbollah is close to this area, close to the border, it can fire in rockets into the Israeli territory. Okay, and this happened in 2006. In July 2006, Israel invaded Lebanon after Hezbollah killed 3 Israel soldiers and kidnapped 2 by conducting a raid into Israel's territory. Israel responded in 2006 by invading Lebanon. The war lasted for a month. It nearly killed 1,000 Lebanese and 170 Israelis. So, to put a stop to this 2006 war, UNSC 1701 resolution was passed. Under this resolution, it was said that Israel should come back or should evacuate Lebanese territory which it had invaded, come back behind Blue Line, and Hezbollah should go to the north of Litani River, not Blue Line, north of Litani River. Because if they'll stay close to Blue Line, they can attack Israel again. So Hezbollah was asked to evacuate this region between Litani River and Blue Line, go to the north of Litani River, right? And this region will be governed by United Nations peacekeeping force. Okay? And Lebanese government. Lebanese government has to ensure that no Hezbollah member conducts any military training or anything south of Litani River. Okay? So this region between Litani River and Blue Line was called a buffer zone, and Hezbollah had to withdraw to the north of this Litani River, and Israel had to evacuate Lebanese territory to the south of Blue Line. Okay, this was what was proposed in 1701 resolution. Now the current ceasefire deal, the 2024 ceasefire deal, is also based on this. It is also asking Hezbollah to go to the north of Litani River and Israel, which has invaded Lebanon, to go to the south of Blue Line. And this should be again declared as a buffer zone, which shall be operated by United Nations peacekeeping forces. Okay, so the current ceasefire proposal, it has said that it should be implemented within 60 days. In that time, Israel should go behind Blue Line and Hezbollah should retreat to the north of Litani River. Lebanon's government is expected to implement a rigorous supervision of Hezbollah's movement. They should make sure that Hezbollah does not move south of Litani River. Okay? And all of this will be monitored by UN peacekeeping troops. But Israel has threatened that right now we are signing this ceasefire proposal, but if Hezbollah tries to not follow this ceasefire proposal and move south of Litani River, then we will invade Lebanon again. So Israel has also given a threat. Okay, so both sides have to agree to this ceasefire proposal. Okay, but still, it's a good beginning. It's a good thing because these hostilities, this war, would come to an end. Mind you, the ceasefire proposal is just between Israel and Hezbollah. It's not between Israel and Hamas. So Israel's war in Gaza, where Hamas is there, still goes on. There is no ceasefire there. All right? But still, it's a good beginning. Okay? At least for peace in the Middle East. All right. Now let's jump focus and shift to third news item of the day, which is November 26th, Constitution Day. Now, November 26th is celebrated as Constitution Day every year. Constitution Day or Samvidhan Divas. And this was announced in 2015. So from 2015 onwards, every year, this date is celebrated as Constitution Day. Okay? Though our constitution was enforced on January 26th, and that is why January 26th is Republic Day, but it was adopted by Constituent Assembly in November 26th, and that is why 26th November is celebrated as Constitution Day. Well, November 26th in 2015 also marked the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of drafting committee of this constitution. Okay, that is why from 2015 onwards this annual celebration started. Okay, so it was announced by Government of India in May 2015 that November 26th shall be celebrated as Constitution Day. It was to mark the adoption of our constitution in the Constituent Assembly on November 26th, and it also marked 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was a chairman of drafting committee, just to honor his contributions. Okay, thus it was a tribute to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was instrumental in finalizing our constitution. Okay, now there are a few facts that you need to know about making of our constitution. Okay, so let's talk about that. So basically, how the Indian constitution was adopted. So the job of creating a constitution was given to the Constituent Assembly. This Constituent Assembly held its first session on December 9, 1946, and it was attended by 207 members. Earlier, before 1947, India and Pakistan were not partitioned. So therefore, this assembly had 389 members. But after partition, the people who wanted to go to Pakistan and members who belonged to that region left this Constituent Assembly of India, and they might have created their own stuff in Pakistan. But then, before partition, it was 389 members. Then, after some people left for Pakistan, the total membership or the strength of this Constituent Assembly came down to 299. Okay, so on December 9, 1946, it was attended by 207 members. Now, first session was on December 9. 4 days after that, on December 13th, Jawaharlal Nehru moved Objectives Resolution. In that Objectives Resolution, certain key points were mentioned which had to be kept in mind before framing the Constitution of India. Okay, this basically encapsulated the whole philosophy of our Constitution. So remember, Objective Resolution was basically, it codified the philosophy of our Constitution. This Objective Resolution was adopted in the preamble on 22nd January 1947. Okay, so the preamble is based out of this Objectives Resolution. Remember this fact. Now, the total time taken by our Constituent Assembly to frame our Constitution was 2 years, 11 months and 17 days. This was the total time. The sessions that were held, okay, it took around 11 sessions, a total of 165 days. So for 165 days, the Constituent Assembly sat. Okay, then they used to take some break, 1 month. So the total time was 2 years, 11 months, 17 days. But for 165 days, they sat. Okay, took around 11 sessions. Now, our constitution was ready on November 26, 1949. So it was adopted on November 26, 1949. That is why it is celebrated as Constitution Day. But it came into effect. The date for this constitution to be enforced was decided as January 26, 1950. Why? Because January 26th was the date when Congress in 1929 passed a resolution of Purna Swaraj. Okay, so that was a historic moment in 1929 when Congress passed Purna Swaraj Resolution. So to honor that date, it was decided that we shouldn't make November 26th the date of enforcement of our constitution. We should make January 26th. And that is why January 26th is the date when our constitution came into effect. Okay, but it was adopted in November 26th. All right, so these are the facts that you should know. Okay, by the way, you'll study these facts in your polity section also, polity lectures also. These are the facts that still you should know about. Okay, all right. And last topic of the day is regarding foreign portfolio investors. Now, every now and then, news is there regarding foreign portfolio investors. So, who are foreign portfolio investors? Okay, look, foreign investors are ones who are foreigners, they're not residents of India, but they invest in India. Okay, now there are two types of foreign investors: foreign direct investors, FDI, and foreign portfolio investors, FPI. Now, who are foreign direct investors, or who are these foreign investors who do foreign direct investment? Okay, now foreign direct investment is that investment which is done in India for setting up a shop in India or doing a business in India. So, for example, if Walmart decides to open retail stores in India, that is foreign direct investment. If Elon Musk decides to open factories in India, that is foreign direct investment. So, when you come to India for doing business in India, okay, Elon Musk might acquire Mahindra, a company called Mahindra, okay, that would also be categorized as foreign direct investment. So, when you come to India to do business in India, to set up a shop in India, that investment is categorized as foreign direct investment. It is more long term also. But what is FPI? When these foreign investors have no desire to shop in India, they just bring their money to India to buy stocks, bonds, to buy basically financial assets and sell them when it seems profitable. Okay, so those foreign investors who are in India for short term and are there to trade in stock market, bond market, mutual funds, well, these people are foreign portfolio investors. Okay, so foreign direct investors are those who are here in India for long time. Okay, they are here to do business in India. Foreign portfolio investors are there to do trading in India in stock market, bond market, and whatnot. Okay, now who are FPIs? Well, these are foreign investors who purchase and hold financial assets. What are financial assets? Stock, bonds, mutual funds. Okay, outside their own country. Now, in India, foreign portfolio investment is regulated by Securities and Exchange Board of India. Remember, it's not RBI, it's SEBI. Okay, now FPIs can be further divided into two categories. One are called foreign institutional investors and the other are called qualified foreign investors. Okay, who are foreign institutional investors? Well, the word institutional is important over here. Okay, these are those investors, FIIs, these are those investors who are not an individual, okay, or an organization or a company. These are basically big funds from abroad. So, a mutual fund from USA, a pension fund from USA, okay, a hedge fund from USA. These are institutions basically, right? These people shall be categorized, or these funds shall be categorized as foreign institutional investors. Okay, because these are institutions, not individuals or families or organizations or companies. These are big institutions. So, big fund houses from abroad who are investing in financial assets of India are FIIs. Then there are some individuals, some big companies. For example, Elon Musk wants trading in India, right? Or Tesla wants to do that. Then Elon Musk or Tesla shall be designated as qualified foreign investors. Okay. But if there is a mutual fund, pension fund, insurance fund, hedge fund, a fund basically from abroad, that is FII, because that's an institution. This is an individual or a company. Okay. Let's take a look at the definitions also. So FIIs are an investor investing in financial assets of a country outside of the one in which it is registered or headquartered. Example, pension funds, investment banks, hedge fund, mutual funds. But what are qualified foreign investors? Well, both FII and QFI are subcategories of FPIs, right? But QFI refers to foreign individuals, groups, associations, not fund houses, these categories, or resident. Okay. These are categorized as QFI. These are those investors who invest in India's stock market, bond market, and whatnot. Now, QFI scheme was introduced by Government of India in consultation with RBI and SEBI in 2011. Okay. And who can become a QFI? Okay. Government of India has set up some qualifications. A QFI, first of all, should be a member or should be from that country which is a member of FATF. Okay. So any country which is not a member of FATF, no resident of that country shall be treated as QFI. Okay. Then that country from which this QFI comes should also be a signatory to International Organization from Securities Commission Multilateral Memorandum of Understanding. Okay. So these are the two qualifications for a country from where an investor can be categorized as QFI in India. Now this is the criteria that India follows. Okay. So remember this part also. All right. And on that note, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But please do not forget to revise this lecture. I'm repeating it again. It is through revision alone that you'll be able to remember these current affairs for longer periods of time. Okay. Now you can download the notes from our Telegram channel for revision. But please do revision. Revision is very important. Okay. I cannot emphasize more on the importance of revision. All right. So that would be all. Thank you so much, everyone. And on that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you next time with next day's current affairs. Thank you, everyone.